broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I mean, it was cute.
There you go.
Oh, I love this song. I even loved it when I believe, was it on Glee with Leah Michele? I feel like she redid it.
Yeah.
I loved her. I don't know what's going on with our music, but welcome to AfterBuzz TV. Thanks for tuning in to episode 14 of Scorpion, called Son of a Gun. If it's your first time joining us, thank you. If you're returning, thank you. Welcome back. We're so glad that it's back, and it looks like we're gonna get another episode, because I hate when they give you one episode and then they take a break. Why? Just give us the break, the longer break, and then put all the episodes together. So I'm glad we're gonna have an episode next week. And across from me, I'm with you, obviously, like always, Monse Bolanos. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. Across from me, I don't just have Susannah Kim today. Say hi, Susannah.
Hi, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim. Follow me on Instagram at Susannah Kim.
We have a guest next to Susannah.
Yay.
We have my good friend, Tunisia.
Hi.
Tunisia Hardison. Tunisia, where can they find you on Twitter?
At Tunisia Hardison.
Oh, that's simple.
That's
good.
Nice. I got it. Nobody wanted it.
Nobody
so it's mine.
And really easy, just the way it sounds,
just
right?
like that, yeah.
Who played Rahal's female assistant?
She did.
So did he have male assistants?
Actually, he had another female assistant, and he had guards. That was it.
That was it.
It was like his ladies, and then the guards.
And then the guards.
Yep.
Oh.
We roll.
How was it working on Scorpion?
It was amazing. Everybody was awesome. I felt like I was on a TV show. It was pretty cool. Like, I felt like I was very welcomed by everybody, and it was just really neat to be on set, and, you know, they transformed it, and to be with the actors. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm living a dream full of it.
Hey, that's
awesome.
better than other people living
I know.
no dream. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
How long was it? Was it a long day of shooting?
No, the shoot date wasn't too long. We did 2 days, actually. So I came in, which I was very grateful for. So the first day I didn't say anything. I was just like, And then the second day I came in and I had my big moment or whatever. And then it was probably like 12 I got there, and then we were done by like 5:30 or something.
That's not a bad day.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I could do this. It was in traffic, but I didn't care. I had snacks to go home with. It was fine.
Oh, that's fun. And how, because you do theater. Like, you were in New York. You
Yeah.
were doing a off-Broadway play. Hold on. I remember women are crazy because men are assholes.
Yes.
Boom.
it.
That's
Yeah.
the name of it. So
How
like,
true that is.
How true that is. How is it different? Like, how is that different from,
Yeah, it's
Scorpion?
It's totally different because the camera is literally right up in your face. You can't really go too far. You'll be out of frame. So and you can't be like, ugh, because you're gonna look like something's wrong with you. So when you're on stage, you can do all of that. You can move. You can, except my role, I was sitting in a car the whole time, so I didn't really go anywhere. But you can like scream. You can bend your face up. So you have an opportunity to be, I guess, more expressive. But the camera reads very small things. So you know that I was watching the episode, and all of a sudden I do this movement, and like on screen it was like, bam. But in reality, I didn't feel like I moved that much. So it's pretty neat to see the difference. So yeah.
And if you guys have noticed, she doesn't have an accent.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So this accent that you have, do you have others that I don't know about?
Yeah.
Let's see. Give us let's pull them out.
Did you put me on the spot? I don't know. I just do different accents. I do British as well. I've been working on that. So it's just a fun thing that I have. But don't get me started, girl. I'll go all over the place. Depends on what you want.
I love it.
I'm
crazy.
crazy.
When you came out, I wasn't expecting you to have an accent. So like I was Tunisia? Is that right?
That's true, because you knew she was going to be on the show.
Right. I knew, and like I see you frequently. Like I was like, did she have an accent? I didn't know she could do this.
Yeah.
Because I can't. do accents.
Yes, you
like,
can.
no. It goes from British to African to Spanish. I just can't do it. I stick
Like
to
when Joey does his accent.
Yes, like I just can't.
Will rise again.
Yes, like I won't even try. But let's get into the episode. All right, so the episode starts off. I thought it was like an undercover job because he's like, it's all dark and he's like talking to Toby, like putting in his comment and is like, I'll be there to help you. Da, da, da. I thought they were gonna show like 5 hours earlier, like that we were in the middle of the mission.
Again, yeah.
Right?
That's
And-
exactly what I put.
Yeah.
It's like the time when we picked up Walter's parents at the airport. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool. We're jumping right into the mission. But no, we're not.
No,
It's something else.
they're going speed dating, or Walter's going speed dating, and K-Bird and Toby are there to help. He's like, "Thank you for being my wingers."
Yeah.
I think he meant wingman, but that was really cute, and we can all see how Walter just sucks, man. At, like talking to women, like he's like talking about weighing balls and like he's so excited about it. He's like, if you have 7 balls and you want to try and weigh one, whatever he says, and the girl's like,
Her reaction is perfect. She's like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't get it. And he's so excited about it. It's like, you want to understand, but we don't, Walter. We just don't.
Yeah.
And poor Cabe, he's like, oh, they tell him you're probably over there with our other second
sunset
chancers.
circle.
Yeah, with our other second chancers. And we also find out Cabe doesn't like cats. When the woman's like, what's your ideal number of cats?
It's like 0.
So you would not
Although
like
I
Cabe.
feel right, yeah. Although I feel like Cabe kind of would fit in with the other group. He's sort of like the silver fox.
I
type.
agree.
No, right?
I agree. They didn't need to
Older,
move him.
but yeah, I think the ladies would be into that.
Yeah. And how about the girl? Wasn't she doing accents? And then
Yes.
he
Oh my
was
gosh.
like,
Okay,
All right,
yeah.
governor. That lady, yeah.
yeah, and then he's like, we're not a good match.
Yeah.
Cheerio. And like gets up.
But also, like, I understand she's in theater, but why? Do they really wear berets? The berets? The little
Beret.
thing, a beret,
Yeah,
right?
beret.
I was like, really? Like,
It was just a hat.
Yeah, right.
She just had a weird hat on, and they were like, make her goofy. So
Yeah, I guess so.
some glasses on
Yeah,
there.
but
She's a theater girl, so she has to wear a beret. I was like, golly. What year is it?
Yeah, I thought it was a little outdated. I agree. Well, unfortunately for Toby, he gets sick from helping and gets the influenza.
Oh, that's gross. I saw that. I was like,
You're like, no.
don't like that.
Don't, I know. And he has to stay back on the mission, which the mission, as I don't know if you guys were kind of confused like I was for a little bit. It was a lot, but we got it. Basically, we have Sylvester's dad joining us. He's a retired colonel and an expert in unconventional weapons of mass destruction. And he thinks that there is a weapon out there, like crazier than anything that exists. And, it needs to be basically stopped.
Yes, Jeff Fahey is the actor for that.
That played
Was
Ken.
Sylvester's, yes, Ken. Yeah, and he was a pilot on Lost. So right when I saw him, I was like, yes,
Yeah,
thank
can you imagine walking into the scene and they were all there, and I was like,
Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh,
it's amazing.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was Catherine, this is just a random question, was Catherine McPhee as gorgeous as she looks on camera?
she's very pretty.
She
She's
looks-
very quiet, so I didn't really talk to her at all, but she's very pretty.
She looks she just looks like a natural beauty, like on screen, you know
And
what
her
I mean?
body. I just can't. I can't.
Everybody was attractive. I was like, oh, everybody looks good. Get some more makeup on.
Get some more makeup on.
They got the job.
I love how we are introduced to Sylvester's dad in the episode. I love the whole thing of like Cabe calling and asking Walter, is he there? Yep, he's right here. And he's like, why? Why did he single me out? Why? What's going on?
yeah.
Tell me now. Blah, blah, blah. It's still Sylvester. And then reading like the file where Toby's like, oh, you're like sweating. You're nervous. Like like you just ran a marathon. Like, what is it? I loved how they introduced his dad into the scene. Like we're
set up the anticipation for it.
exactly. And we are immediately told basically about how weird their relationship is.
Yeah.
It's been 9 years, 3 months, and 2 days.
Yes.
Exactly.
They last saw each other.
And I was thinking, I was like, man, it was awkward when Walter said hi to his dad with a handshake. Oh,
yeah. Right.
This was worse.
This was so much worse.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's and so like just sad, like a sad puppy. Like it wasn't like a firm. It was so like a child who is almost scared
Didn't
of
know,
her.
yeah.
Like it was so bad. And I like how Paige, when he walks in, because he's about to give them the mission or what it is that they need to do, and Paige is like, oh, Colonel, you don't want to like stand off to the side and like catch up,
Have a moment?
Yeah, like have a moment. It's like, no, let's keep on going. So the UN believes that this weapon has been created and it had to do with during the war. but with the Axis and the allies, excuse me. And he thinks that there is a stun gun somewhere because there was a beam of light that was caught on a dash cam. And a stun gun basically would reflect concentrated sunlight, but at a degree where it would burn everything. And it seems as though, like, we don't really know this at this point, but his dad is obsessed with this stun gun. And we're also instantly introduced to the fact that Sylvester is like, he's always been obsessed. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. This thing doesn't exist. Like, we're just wasting our time. From the beginning, it's like a butting heads between son and daddy.
Right. We can tell there's definitely history there.
There is definitely history.
He's still at this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like we just right back to where we started. Right. And we also, I don't know if I mentioned it, but we find out that he left at 14 years, Sylvester.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't even know you. You're a stranger to me. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
You know him.
Don't play.
It's like he's not 3 when he left. I'm like, I don't know you at all. No, 14's 14.
You remember stuff.
Yeah,
and
I
a genius.
remember 14.
After puberty.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It looks similar.
100%. The video beam is at Bahari, a North African country. President Desta Rahal, your boss.
Yes.
Your boss. Not a bad looking boss.
Very handsome.
Yeah.
Very, yeah. Look, hey. Hey. And so they have to go there, and it's so funny when they're about to leave, and the dad's like, Sylvester, do what you got to do, because I ain't stopping anywhere when we head out. Like, I thought you're not a dad. Like, that was such a dad thing to say, and only to say it to Sylvester.
Yeah, to nobody else.
Right. To say it to nobody else. So they start to, like, figure out that this beam, if he has this sun gun, it has all the, like, it's from the Germans. It might be a prototype he found like 70 years later. They don't really know anything. Like, they just are assuming he has all of this stuff, and it's because of the dad, because of Ken. Right. They say it's likely a system test. So they head out there. Sylvester has to go, which is interesting because he hasn't gone on many missions.
Right.
He stays home a lot. Like, he stays in the garage and, like, works from the computer and, like, helps them.
Right.
But
and we knew a lot of that was because of he had an injury for a while.
He had an injury.
Because a lot of the first season he wasn't. He did stay in a little bit.
He went out, yes.
Yeah, he definitely went out more.
We had Ari Stedham here, like, a few weeks ago. He came last year, too, and he told us that he got hurt, and he had to have knee surgery, like, on set. So,
like, for real,
works for real. Yeah.
So, works on the episodes where he would, like, stay in.
Yeah.
So, immediately, when this happened, I was like, oh, what happened to Toby? I was like, did he hurt himself?
Yeah, maybe he really did hurt himself. Yeah. So, he has to go, and they have to go basically find where this beam of light came in a desert. It's like finding, what does he say? It's like looking for a water drop in the ocean or something. But they do know that if this was a test, this would create some residue. So, like, we could go find some residue. That's what they're gonna go do. And
it's amazing. I wouldn't know that.
I don't know half of this stuff, Tanisha, I don't know this. Just because
I'm the show,
like
writing the show.
Just make up stuff. I'd be like, there's some flying stuff in the air. Just go find it.
Just go find it. Some flying stuff. No big deal. They tell Rahal that Scorpion is coming to basically do an inspection because of the energy readings going on, and they're making sure it's not chemical or atomic. Like, that's the reason why they're going. And when they get there, it's like you see a third world country that this president who does not feed his people but just wants to be a leader and wants to have power. But even Paige, like, instead of walking in, she's like, this is so awful. And, like, it is especially for a team like Scorpion, probably, to, like, be put in that situation. I can only imagine. But Scorpion, none of them like Rahal, like, from the beginning, and he says that it's a kilowatt overload is the reason of the beam, because they ask him straight up about the beam, and he says it's a kilowatt overload. Yeah, all right. So that's a perfectly good excuse. And Sylvester's like, see, my dad doesn't know. There's no stun gun. Like, he's been on this forever. And he tells him, because you're here, we're going to throw like a party for you, like a little a dance reception, whatever. But Walter's like, yeah, we don't care about that. We just want to get to work. So they go into work, and they're like about to work, and then you come in.
I do.
You do, Miss accent that can do anything. Tanisha comes in, and she asks for Walter to come talk to Rahal.
I don't really ask.
You demand.
Yeah,
you demand.
Pretty badass.
Pretty badass. You kept it. I know, and it was such a calm badass. Like, there was no, like, need to be to yell, to like show any of that. You were just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cute. No, you were gonna come though.
Right. Yeah.
But that's cute.
Yeah. Like she already knew he was gonna say no, and I'm already ready for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very.
I'll get the door.
I'll be just right here because you gotta come with me. And you do take him, but we do have the others separate to go inspect certain buildings because they're like, where did this beam come from? They have to try and figure it out. Cabe, Walter, and Happy eventually go to a burned building, while Sylvester, Ken, and Paige go to the hangar that they saw on their way in. But Walter does get taken away, so he's not as involved as much because he has to, go talk to Rahal. They go to a spa. They like hang out all day. They hang out all freaking day. And we got Toby at home, but Toby's being taken care of.
Yes.
We think
Little
by Ralph,
Ralphie.
but it's not really.
It's Happy.
It's by Happy.
Yeah. As soon as he was like,
That
how
was a
did you
cute
know
little
my
twist.
favorite soup? I was like, Happy.
I didn't know.
Really?
I didn't think of that.
Oh, yeah. As soon as he was like, how did you know? I was like, well, clearly it's not Ralph.
Yeah, but I didn't think of it being Happy's
cute.
doing of like, hey, this is what you're gonna, this is what you gotta do.
I like
No,
that.
he
That's
gets
so cute.
he gets a soup, he gets Coyote cartoons, he gets it all. Like,
Yeah.
it's
And I love when he's like, eat it, you look awful.
yeah.
Dude, that little boy, his
He's really
deadpan
good.
is
Yeah.
so good.
He's
where
really
he
good.
just like delivers, he's so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, little boy's smart.
So when Walter goes to talk to your boss,
Mm-hmm.
he tells him he wants to build a rocket, make him the chief of technology, and he tells him his IQ is 203 over his 197.
That had to hurt.
Right? And I was like, no. I was not expecting that.
Right?
Like, what?
Bro, we thought Walter was smart.
Yeah.
Where's Rahal's show?
Where's Rahal? Right? And then he brings him out. He's like, just as a peace offering type of thing. Well, not a peace offering because they're not fighting, but he brings him out, what does he say? An Irish...
Oh, yeah.
Like a custom or
Staples
something.
in your
yeah, and
country,
it's like boiled potatoes and whiskey. That is disgusting.
And it was
I mean,
real
together.
potatoes.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But together?
I don't know.
No, you're tripping.
Shoot.
You're tripping. Have you ever had
Potato
whiskey?
to soak up your whiskey?
No.
Not a problem.
I just
The only way.
I just can't.
It's free.
All right. So basically, the next time it's your birthday, you're getting potatoes and whiskey, and don't ask for anything else.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because I'm Irish.
Full blood. Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
As
Clearly.
Cabe and Happy are trying to find what's going on, they realize like they look over and they find a blimp. And they're like, it's for radar detection, but there's no Air Force.
Right.
Why do they have this blimp? And then it's like, oh, this is probably used to do that test with the beam. But they probably accidentally burnt their own building because he was like, that's the building, the kilowatt exploded, whatever. And they're like, this doesn't make sense. So they head to the blimp to see what it is. Sylvester is still upset with his dad and is talking that like sun guns are like unicorns. They just don't exist. But as they're in the room, which is, I assume, where did they go? The first room they went to go see? Because they went to the hangar and the other place. Yeah, they're at the hangar. That's what they're at. They're at the hangar. And he's using the test to see if there's any residue with the device they used.
Right.
Oh, but
yeah.
there's
Hydrogen
none.
or something like that. They're
Yeah.
looking for something.
They're looking for something. They're
Helium.
they're trying to see if there's any residue, and they detect nothing. So that's when Sylvester's like, it's like unicorns. Like this,
see?
this is nothing. And he tries to like finally prove his dad wrong with one last thing, because his dad's like, this has to be here, like under these panels, because you see a lot of like solar panels. I don't know if they're solar, but were they
Yeah.
solar?
I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
a
So
regular
Paige is
solar.
like, shoot, I'm from Southern California. I see these all the time.
Yeah. So they're just a ton of panels, and he's like, I'm gonna prove you wrong one last time, because there's the metallic sodium reflectors that they're looking for. They would create a reaction if there was fire. So he makes paper planes that have never worked as good as when I throw a paper plane.
Yeah.
I know.
Right?
And on fire.
And it was all three of them,
Yeah.
like nice little birdies.
Yeah.
Just going. I was like, this is ridiculous. This would not work if it was true, but
Well,
whatever.
they're smart enough to engineer a perfect paper airplane, right?
It's true.
Yeah,
I guess.
so.
Yeah.
And
We-
to have just loose leaf with them. That was clean. You had that in your pocket.
There was no writing on it.
Right? Loosely.
Right? That's true. I didn't even think about that. We always talk about how this show does whatever they want. Like they, when it comes to like the genius stuff, it's like sometimes they might jump the gun, but it's like we don't know.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, we know.
You guys keep making those paper planes. Exactly. So they light these paper planes on fire, and it does cause a reaction, and it's because the panels are just colored glass facades. What's a facade?
Oh, front and sides or something. The only part you can see.
The only part you can. I thought of that.
Love that.
To cover up the metallic sodium panels underneath. So it's like this guy was hiding them in plain sight, is what they were saying. Super smart. That's what you have to do.
Right? 203?
203. 203. I know. And they were like, he's probably trying them out to like duplicate them. Like that they already know he's on to something. So they want to put the panels in the aerostat, which I think it's the blimp. We realize that they want to put them in there and that hopefully it crashes in the Mediterranean Sea and the panels will be in a sealed waterproof bag so that the Navy SEALs can pick it up. And they have to do a lot of
calculations.
Thank you, that's the word. That's why you're here. They have to do a lot of calculations with like distances and figuring out angles and stuff that I don't understand. But they do it. And they're at the blimp and they're trying to do this, and you see like the car coming with the guys. They're about to get killed because Rahal does not care, and he would kill them off like instantly. Sylvester's calculations are off because he wants it in meters. Is that what it is?
He's like, the country runs in meters, but Happy gave him numbers 120 in feet.
In feet, right.
He's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you convert? She's like, oh, I'm American.
Exactly.
I was like, that's so funny because last week, Monse was just talking about that. She was like, meters? What's a meter?
Yeah,
Why?
meters.
Why?
But it's like when people come to Universal and they're like, how many meters is the drop to Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
I don't.
Right?
I can tell you how many
welcome
feet.
to America, first of
Or
all.
the
So
degrees. Like, they
like-
don't do it in degrees.
Yeah.
So then they'll be like, it's like 40. That's so hot. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Fahrenheit.
But they are able to get it off. Toby's like on the comm and is like, okay, it's certain angle, certain degrees. He tells them, they let it go, and they think it's great. We do have Walter still with Rahal. We find out about the watch being very important. That watch looked bomb though. I'm all about watches.
Right?
Like, let's go watch.
Right?
Yeah.
Apple Watch 2.
The new Apple Watch.
That's it, seriously. And it controls, I'm sure he controls everything he wants, but he mainly controls the gate with that, and he says he has to like decode it or change the
reset it
code every twice a day. And Walter also finds out that maybe he's trying to create this rocket to create a bigger sun gun, something twice as big as what they thought. So when they think they're done, because they just sent off the panels on the blimp, he's like, no, we can't go anywhere. There's got to be more panels. He's got to be taking care of them. They would be somewhere, and we have to find them. And they're like, yeah, he would be keeping them safe, and they can't be by the sun, so it's got to be underground, avoiding the sun. So they don't go anywhere. They have to stay, and Walter gets sent back to Rahal to distract him. They go to the spa. Because they're like, you go talk to your new BFF, right? Because you gotta do
Like,
it.
go shake your moneymaker,
shake-
and then immediately they're naked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
And that, I loved all of that just because Toby, you hear Toby's like, don't you know how to romance someone? Like, what are you doing? You're asking for dessert when you're eating the salad. What are you doing?
And Paige is like, nope.
Paige is like, nope.
And I was like, really? Oh, so this one you heard. Because last time she didn't hear what they were talking about last time.
Yeah, like they're always
This
on
one
their
she heard.
comms. And we were talking about last time how he said Happy was like missing, dying in the snow. And Toby was gonna go find her, and they were like, "You can't." And he's like, "What if that was Paige?" But it's like she didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Where was the comm? Weren't you all on the comm?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Somebody
this
told me
one,
But
she
this one
did
she
hear
heard,
that.
and she's gonna comment on it.
And she's
A couple
like,
episodes ago, like a handhold or something. Like he like.
yeah. There's
So
yeah.
have we already gone backwards? That's
Oh,
not
so
a-
many
They're
times.
like this. It's like this. It's, I don't get what's going on between Walter and Paige. I honestly do not understand. But very, very cute, even though, it makes no sense. Whatever. Yeah. And then Walter's like, we just found out, like, he says he has an Olympic-sized swimming pool somewhere. And then they're like, oh, the pump room would be the place to go. And then Toby's like, that's perfect. There's no guards. Like that's if you were hiding someone and you wouldn't want people to know that it's hiding, you wouldn't show, you know, how important it is. You wouldn't put guards on it. So they have to go inspect this pump room, and this is where like a lot of stuff happens with a lot of technical stuff. I'm like, what is going on? But I do know that Sylvester's water fan came into handy here. So they have this lock that they're trying to get underground because they think that's where all the panels are, because remember, it has to be underground. They create a hydrochloric acid to eat through the lock. We also need some sand. We need some limes to create this. That came from the aquarium that he has. And they are able, they open the lock, they jump in there, like everything seems to be going right. And even Sylvester's like, there's 236 panels here. Like, what are you gonna do, man? You're gonna kill us all with that. Like all of us. You're just gonna, it's gonna be like a meteor. It hits the world just from you. It doesn't even go anywhere. It just hits you. You think it's going well, and so Walter, Paige, and Happy, they go to the dinner so that this guy doesn't suspect anything. And then Sylvester and Dad are left alone. They get stuck in this like cement material that you called, what did you call it? Mortar. All right, they get stuck. And there's a beam that shoots up back into the original lock that they ate through, and it shuts it, melts it tight, and they're really stuck. And they kind of have like a bickering dad and son back and forth, and then that's when it's like, you just wanted to work because you didn't want to hang out with me.
Right.
Oh, but you left at 14. I don't even know you. Well, you're gonna get to know me because we're stuck here. Very just like, come on, kids, come on, figure it out, it out, be friends, do it. We're glued to this German lab. I wrote that down because they use German a lot. Like he even said it when Rahal was telling Walter, he's like, oh, you're on board, great, you'll be using German materials, you'll work day and night. So like this whole thing about the Germans, it's like it really comes from the Germans, and that's crazy. Why do we have it? Did they mention it? It's from the world
history,
because of the, okay, cool.
And
And they
Germans
Just to
aren't
occupy
they?
it, so
Oh, and then they did say that the Germans picked him up sometime during the war. That's what they said. That's what it was. Yeah. So Rahal is at the party. They're all like having a good time, dancing, whatever. And then we meet his lady. And then he, like, the lady whispers something. And Toby's like, they're gonna go do it, you know? Like, you gotta stop them. You can't let them go. And Paige is
of the party.
in the middle. I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
You know what he wants.
You know what I'm saying? Based on
my dress on.
so they have a surprise for him. She's like, Paige is like, oh, we have a surprise for you. Walter has a surprise for you to say thank you for everything you've done. And then he's like, what's the surprise? Oh, I can't tell you. And then she grabs Walter, pulls out her phone, tells the band, you know this song, whatever. And then they start singing, don't go breaking my heart.
They know that song in Africa, huh?
Yeah. It's 2015. Yeah.
Dang.
Third world country.
A hit is a hit.
2016. I don't even know what year it is.
We moved on now.
We moved on. I don't even know what year it is anymore. But yeah, so they start singing, and she sounds great from the beginning, and he's like, sounds awful, and then she's like, if you don't get into this, I'm gonna kill myself, or whatever she says. Like she says something, and then he starts like getting into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not
too
bad.
Not bad, right?
Yeah. You guys could do like a duet in real life, you know, like Catherine McPhee, Elias Gable, you know, like do a little cute little duet. That would be very cute.
Valentine's Day's coming
Hey, that's so true. And as Sylvester, so they're still at the party, they're singing. Sylvester and his dad are still like having their bickering going on, but then Sylvester, like always, there's like a light bulb, and they're like, yes, we should just undo everything.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously? That simple? Like, you couldn't think of that?
Right?
When it first shut it down, you could be like, oh, let's just undo it.
Yeah, you didn't exactly.
He was having a moment, Monse. His brain was fried. Dad got him all shook up.
You got daddy problems.
You got
so
daddy problems.
Gotta handle the daddy issues first.
Well, Daddy says, I wish I could undo things. You're right. Why don't we undo things? We can undo what just happened. And using a phone light and the solar panels that they had, it was like playing Frisbee. He even says, are we actually playing catch? Like, because he has to, the dad throws a panel, he angles the beam of light from the phone, and then it shoots it up, and it opens the lock. And they do it twice at like different angles. And while they're doing that, we have the other 3 still at the party, and everyone's dancing, they're still singing, but Rahal is dancing with his lady. And Toby's like, he's gonna leave, you need to get this watch, because how are they gonna get out? Like, by this point Rahal's gonna find out what they've done, so they need the watch to get through the gate. Happy bumps in, starts dancing, whatever, and then so quickly takes the watch.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously? You're kidding me. Did we just run out of time? Like, did ABC was like, all right, what are they on? NBC, CBS, whatever. CBS, like, you have 2 minutes. You need to.
And she just holds it behind her back.
She just holds it behind.
She's like,
I
know.
I know.
So awkward.
It's like, just make the episode an hour and 10 minutes. Just do that. It's like
I
what
agree.
it's what American Horror Story does. Like, their episodes are not an hour. They're like an hour and 7 minutes, an hour and 13 minutes. It's really annoying. But hey, at least you get all the answers you want. But it was just
be annoying.
To be annoying. But it was just like, seriously, you took that watch so fast. You didn't even. It didn't even seem like you tried. And somebody with an IQ of 203, like. Don't play.
Come on now.
Don't play. Don't play. And then, like, she runs off, and he's like, my watch! They have my watch! And then they chase after them.
Yeah.
Everyone's running. Everybody's going crazy. They get all in a car. Even Sylvester and his dad eventually. It's like, you all meet up. It was, how did that, at the same time?
Right?
I have
that real
pen
well.
marks on me. That's how excited I am. What's wrong with this pen, though?
It's excited too.
Oh, exploded on me. It's excited. It's exploding, but it is Anna and Elsa. Sounds good. That's what she said. Okay. Okay. So they all, happen to get out all at the same time, which is obviously ridiculous. And then they get in a car and run away. And with the watch, they open the gate. They get right on through. No big deal. And then we end at the garage. Like every episode ends at the garage.
Yeah. Though it felt like a big skip.
Yes, I agree.
I
I thought that was-
drove off and then went straight to the garage.
Yeah.
I was just like, wait, what happened between?
It's been hours, like,
Yeah, right?
since you
But
took
weren't
the...
they in Africa?
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
And what happened to the watch? I wish we would have seen the watch, like, on Happy or something.
Right.
Since Happy liked it so much, when she was like, oh, your watch is so fancy.
Right.
I wish we would have seen the watch on her. Or something.
Or the kid.
Or the kid, like,
But it would a big dash to, like, get to the airport, like, but they wouldn't have made it, like, to the airport. They're, like, waiting for their flight. And they're like, I hope they don't catch up on us, you know? But we assume it all works out, I guess.
we assume it all. We believe you,
They didn't
Scorpion.
catch up with them.
we believe you. But I agree. It was a big jump. And they don't always do that. Like, usually it's like pretty good, like, you know, it ends the way you expect it to end, all loose ends coming. This one I felt like it was just a big gap, a big
They could have brought me back.
Okay.
I would have come back again and said something else.
And
you
so-
know? Fill in the time, guys.
You heard it right here. She will come back. All right. And then here we find out when they're back at the garage as the episode's coming to an end. Happy is the reason Toby had such a great day, a great sick day. Ralph gave him his favorite soup, his favorite cartoons, and it was all because Happy told him. And Happy gave him money, you know, got to pay the kid, doing something. And then he's like, well, I'm falling for the guy. And then Ralph's like, ew. She's like, I know, right? Like, I know. But so cute.
I like
It's
that.
adorable. Sylvester and his dad say goodbye in a not so awkward way. He even says, like, maybe your mom would like to see you. And then he says maybe at first, which is kind of weird. And then he's like, sure.
Yeah.
So you think we'll see his mom? No? You think it's just that's it?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But I did like what he said about, you know, like, oh, I'm sorry we weren't the right family for you. I'm glad you found the right family
Yeah,
for you.
that was nice.
That was sweet.
That was sweet. I hope we see him again, the dad.
Jesse.
I want to.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah. I actually hope we see all the parents.
Yeah.
To all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Back to school night.
Back to school night. Yes. And if we do have a back to school night, I hope Paige and Walter take Ralph. And like always, the episode ends with them. I feel like it always ends with them saying like the last lines. Like, you know what I mean? Just always. But it's funny when he's like, who's Elton John? Like, can you answer one question? Who's Elton John? And how he asks her, like, you think they meant everything they were saying in the song? And she was like, I don't know. You gotta ask Elton. And he talks about like facts and the truth not really giving you what you need, but lying or like bending the truth gets you what you need. And she's like, well, you know, sometimes bending the truth is better for somebody. Like, you won't hurt someone as much if you bend the truth a little bit. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go get some food. And then he says, great singing, or compliments her. She's like, thanks. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are you bending the compliment? Then he's like, what does it matter? You just said it doesn't matter if it's, you know, for a good cause. And she's like, don't use my words against me. And then she's like, Ralph, grab your stuff. We're going to go eat with Walter, and he's going to tell me if that was a real compliment or not. And then they go. Aww,
Which is cute. 'Cause we don't see that often.
We don't.
Where they leave together.
Where they leave together.
We know they're going to be together afterwards.
Yeah, and it's like, that seemed as if there was no weirdness between them. The way they exited, like, it was just like no weirdness between them. And other times, it's like super weird between them. It's so awkward. But I think that was the episode. Did we miss anything? No? Let's do quick predictions. Quick. I don't even know if I have. I think I have one.
And now, your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
I like this.
Right? Just so you can see it.
So I actually didn't see the previews for next week.
We didn't. We did get somebody.
Someone said that it was about like Walter dating someone new, and you said you saw it, right?
Yeah. To go, he was trying to date this lady, and of course it's a little awkward, but he wants to put in the effort. So the episode is basically what I saw and remember from it is like that. So
that's interesting. Like, just put him with Paige. He clearly said in this episode, I don't want to deal with speed dating. You just said that. Okay, so I predict he dates someone next week, which I think we're gonna get it right. I also predict I think we're gonna get more parents. I feel like we're knocking the parents one out at a time. Maybe not in this season, all of them, but I bet you will eventually get like Toby's parents. And I would love to get a parent for Paige, a grandparent to Ralph. So I hope that happens. Yeah. You got anything?
That'd be cool. No, not really.
I've given up on Drew.
Pretty much, I know. I was gonna say something about that. I was like, nah.
Drew is baby daddy to Ralph. Given up on him. He came out in season 1, and every episode I'm like, he's gonna come back, and then doesn't. So I've given up on him.
So listen, bring him back.
Bring him
He's
back.
gonna be back next week.
I know the day that I'm like, he's done. He's done.
Paige just be like, oh, you're gonna date her? Okay. And then he's back. And then he's back.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, Tunisia. Thank you for coming in and talking about this episode. All of you guys that are here week after week, we appreciate it so much. If it was your first time tuning in, we hope you liked it. We will be here next week. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. Susannah.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim. Follow me on Instagram at Susannah Kim.
Tunisia.
At Twitter, at Tunisia Hardison. That's it. I mean, I'm on Instagram, but I don't check it, y'all. I'm bad.
I'm bad.
Dude, I'm trying to get better. It's actually my New Year's resolution.
Get on it. Get on. Social media is the new thing.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
the
on
way
Twitter.
Like my phone.
way of life. Thank you guys. We will be here next week. Same time, same place. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.